Masachet Hullin Daf Kuf Aleph Amud Aleph 13 lines down. Uman Hai Tana. Who's the opinion? Hamim. The Isur Koler. That in regarding to an Isur that is inclusive. Isur Ahad Isur that doesn't hold that one Isur takes upon the other. And you can't double down. Right? Like the Yidin Asher cannot be Chayav Nevela. Isur Kolel be Isur Hamur. But in the case where the second Isur is more strict, it will take effect. So if the Qurban Olah, for example, or it has to be stoned, for example, both cases will apply. Both Isurim and the Yidin Hashem will apply because it is a more stringent Isur and it takes effect. Ma'ala says, basically, it's going to be basically. The Mishnah says, Tameh she'achal kodesh ben kodesh tameh ben kodesh tahor. Tameh person ate either kodesh foods tameh or sacrificial kodesh foods that is tahor. Hayav is chayav. It's chayav v'chatat. If he's by mistake. Basically, Omer, تمشي أخالة تهور حياة. If he's tamani tahor stuff, he's chayav. تمشي أخالة تهمت فبطور patur. But if he's tamani ate something that's patameh, it's patur. شلو أخال إلا دبر tameh because he eats something that's tameh. I'm told him. Af تمشي أخالة تهور. So the tameh person ate kadosh holy foods, kadosh foods that's tahor. Kivin shenaga ba tuma'ahu. Once it touches it, it makes it tameh. So you would agree that the Torah makes him chayav from hatat even while he's tameh. So you should also be chayav if it was tameh before he touched it. Gemara says no. Shapir Kamar what's a good argument? How would he answer? Amar Rabba says, "Benitmah haguf v'achar nitmah dasar." One case where the person became tameh, and then the meat became tameh afterward. Kula amal lo pligi de chayav. Everybody would agree is chayav, even though it's tameh. The isur karet kadim because the isur of karet came first. Yani there's a karet of a tameh person eating something that's kadosh. Ki pligi, where's there a choket? It's a different situation. The meat became tameh, then the person became tameh. So the isur of tameh foods came before the person's tumah, and that's more inclusive. I don't know the whole that you could add on. The migud mahavet chotarat ta'ama, since he's already chayav for eating tahor pieces of meat, which would otherwise be mutar if he wasn't tahor tameh. Mahav naima chotarat tameh, he also chayav tameh meat. Basically, that the isur kohen he has to not hold it. We don't say that. So we see it basically holds that one Isur cannot take on another, even if it's inclusive, even if it's more strict. So Hamim argue and hold like Rabbi Yossi. I hear where it's a lesser Isur, it's a more lenient Isur, it doesn't add on. Why doesn't the more stringent Isur take on the lenient more? Why does he not hold that? The mind here will be a case to Mataguf over here would be to one case where he's Tameh, which is more strict. Sharet to Mataguf, but correct because eating something while you're Tameh and eating something Kadosh, that's karet. While the other Isur of Tameh foods by itself is much less strict. Mar says, Amar Avashi, who says that the Tumah of the person is more chamor? Tumat hamot basar hamor, maybe the meat tumah is more strict. Let the taharat mikveh because you can never fix that. Can't dip the meat in the mikveh. You could fix a person, he has to go to the mikveh. Really, so one second. I was saying just like these not does not allow one thing to land on the other. But remember, it says Shabbat and Kippur the day. That is Shabbat and Yom Kippur. Shagag ba'asad lacha. A person acts like did an isu of lacha. Minayin shechayav al zeh be'atzmo b'zeh atzmo. Hainu yechayav one for hatat for Shabbat and one hatat for Yom Kippur. Tamalmar the pasuk says Shabbat he eats Shabbat. Yom Kippurim he eats also Shabbat. Yom Kippur. We see in this legal also it could be half two for one. Or says لا شرح بعدين مشوم بالعصر إذا حنينا كحت سأش المشنا العفو. That's how you mention the Mishnah, but the pins are actually switched. Basically, holds your chayav one. شرح يزعج برای يعقوب برجي يوري مشوم ربيع حنان. الدرية basically من أبخان. Basically, يعني it was reversed that he was only holding one. شغال بشباب بهزيب يوم شكرا. He did not know it was Shabbat, but it was on purpose. He did it Yom Kippur. Hayat. Hayat for Shabbat by mistake. His Ziba Shabbat Shabbat maybe did it on purpose Shabbat and by mistake Yom Kippur. Patur Patur. So basically holds. You have one because the Yom Kippur did not land on top of Shabbat. Whereas my time why? So why in one case is Shabbat more your Chayav and Yom Kippur not? Where it says Maria Shabbat Kiviyah Ba'akayma. The Shabbat is the same time every week. Can't change that. However, Yom Kippur, according to Bedinat, they cover عليها. Yom Kippur is according to Bedin. They determine when the months are from the moon and everything, and therefore Shabbat Isur took place first. Marava. So at the end of the day, to the Bible dedicated, they both happened on the same day. So nothing first to last. They both were Friday night. The Gemara says, Ela Marava says, Shemadahava. That was a time when it was when they were persecuting the Jews. And therefore, Shahmitim sent a message, just to throw off the Goyim, for not they shouldn't observe extra quote unquote extra things in the eyes of the Goyim. They said you're gonna observe Yom Kippur and Shabbat, but it wasn't actually Shabbat, that's why they're patur for Shabbat. Yom Kippur was alright. They all said the same thing. We said 1 second, Yaakov. The Gemara shares a sword from the times of Yaakov Avinu. And we said no. I mean, Mishnah, we said no, that it was written by Yaakov, but the Isur actually happened by Yom Har Sinai. And the Bible says, "Amur b'yada Torah b'yada v'chineemar al ken lo yochel b'nei Yaakov." But it doesn't say the young children of Yaakov can eat Yinashe. By lo kol amar lo b'nei Israel, and since b'nei Israel can eat it. The only from b'nei Israel Sinai, they're not called b'nei Israel till Yom Har Sinai. Therefore, there's no Isur beforehand. And let Sinai amar, but it was mentioned by Sinai. Let us start him, but it was written in the place of the story. Leidad the Me'ezim family is sometimes to teach you where the Isur happened when Yaakov fought with the angel. Matilda Rabba says, "Mesu b'nei Israel Yaakov be'avihem." When Yaakov passed away, took their body, it says b'nei Israel. So we see they're called b'nei Israel. We're talking about the Gemara says, "La'achar ma'aseh," after the angel happened. Now he shot al. Okay, so once they're called b'nei Israel, maybe they were asur from that point when they were called b'nei Israel, which they took b'nei Yaakov's body, where it says. Malay answers him to Chituram. I mean, the Torah was not given different times. At that time, when Yaakov's body was taken, it was not the story of the angel. It wasn't the time of the Torah being given. And therefore, the Yidin Hashem did not happen at that time. The Yisur. Tumuran. Every man high no heg ve'evnav chayav ha'os. The from a living animal applies to behemot, the undomesticated animals, chayot, wild animals, and birds. Benjamin ben Gufterin, kosher or non-kosher. David Bida reveals that it's according to these opinions. I'm saying no, and no heg elbterin only applies to kosher animals. Rabbi Yochanan ushnem mikra hadar should both learn their opinion from the same thing. All right, we had this many times before, and I say this I think almost every single time. We see that Hamim could learn totally opposite opinions from the same pasuk. That shows us in general that people can see the same thing and interpret it in a different way. And that's why we have to talk things out with people. What's the pasuk? Rak hazak lidati achol adam ki adam hu nefesh. Don't eat the blood because blood is life. Lo tochal nefesh basar. You can't eat life with meat. Rabbi David Elazar they hold. After I mentioned meat, blood, and living animals, anything they chayav for the blood, atam mitzvah they're chayav on the limbs. They have menachai. But nami also regarding non-kosher animals, since you're chayav for the blood, atam mitzvah also chayav for ever menachai. But I'm not hold. Lo tochal nefesh basar. Don't eat the life with the flesh means ela basar lechudeh. You can eat the flesh by its own, yani if it's dead. Kosher basar mutar, which means any mutar meat, which is kosher animals. Atam mitzvah chayav for ever menachai. Anything that's not chayav, yani non-kosher animals, meat. Yetam mitzvah chayav for ever menachai. Why do we need a pasuk to teach you that ever menachai is a problem for a non-kosher animal? It would be logic. Let the isur of the limb from live animal take effect on the isur of a non-kosher meat. Shaking Israel no, because every menachai let the goyim, where it says from the goyim from yani Shema Samir Noach. Where it says enacham it's true. Because Isur declared to Belazar even for a proof, for pasuk proof for Belazar. Because Belazar holds not like Rabbi that there's no such thing as isur and isur. Therefore Belazar needs the pasuk. Tamanach having a proof. Every menachai is no heavy off. The limb of live animal applies to domesticated, undomesticated, and birds. Ben Tmea Torah non-kosher and kosher. Shana person says Berak Chazak V'Teach Adam kosher Mitzvah Adam At Mitzvah V'Rav Cholash the Eya Mitzvah the most things I think before Yet Mitzvah V'Rav Zerei Lazar Kon Tevazar Hamim Hamim Tmea and Leil B'Torin Shneimar Lot Hochal Hanefesh Im Basar El Mitzvah the Chudei El Husar V'Tar Atam Mitzvah V'Rav Ochrim Shnotar Ein Atam Mitzvah Al V'Rav. The Rebbe says no. إنه هيك إلا بالمادة التورات البعض يصير Abraham Chai only applies to kosher domesticated animals, sheep and stuff. Why? مرة بعرف شمال مرة بحسها مريت من يوسف. عمري some people say مرة ببارش يلا مرة يحزن من يوسف. عمري مرة يحزن من يوسف. My temporary what's the reason I made that he holds that it only applies to behema? Markrav is about b'nikar echad mitonecha. Just slaughter the animals, which is refers to kosher behemot, and that's why it teaches you only those animals are chayav, and that's also where Eved Menachai teaches is taught. And we say, okay, fine, that says where you have Eved Menachai. Man,